Hunter, we were talking about it all week. Finally, game week is here. Just how excited this team is to know you get to actually hit someone else come Saturday.
Well, it's been a long 5-6 months since we, didn't have spring ball and didn't get to. We had 2 practices and then everybody's gone. So bring it back. We brought him back a couple of weeks early, and then Lone Star Conference came out with their ruling to start the 24th, and then they weren't going to play football. And I credit Walter Wendler, our president, and our athletic director Micah McBroom, and they worked as hard as they could, did everything they could to get us a season of starting out 5 games, because that's what you could do at first. And we always wanted to play in the fall. I'm a firm believer that the health and safety of our players are the number one priority, and we've done that. But I don't think going and playing in the spring a full schedule and then turn it around within 3 or 4 months and trying to play another full schedule is healthy for our players. So it's been an interesting 4 weeks since we've started on August 24th in pads. We had guys here beforehand going through our COVID process and learning the symptom situations we go through and symptom checks and how the new way of doing things for this year. And to say we're excited to see another team pull up and play in this stadium I don't have an answer for that, because it just makes you kind of your blood boil a little bit, and a little more energy today at practice. At that scrimmage, playing under the lights, there's a little more energy. They see something now coming down the road, and I think that's what the excitement is, and it's going to build. It'll continue to build. It's just, and it's a longer week for us, work week wise, because we didn't play a game last week. So, but yeah, they'll be excited to get out here, and they talk about 2 weeks ago, man, we should have been getting on a plane to go to Azusa. Man, we should be hosting Permian Basin last week. Just to be able to go out and hit somebody else and go compete, especially in front of our fans in this complex, sends chills up my spine.
How do you approach this 7 games? Do you redshirt anyone? How do you play everyone? Is it just a regular? It's not a regular season.
NCAA rules now. They've said that you can play up to your maximum amount of contest, and guys do not lose a year of eligibility.
Right.
What they fail to tell you is they're not going to grant another season, a semester of extension for them to play. So they still have to get it within their 10 semesters according to Division II rules. But it allows us to play some freshmen that we would redshirt normally in these type of games to get them some speed and game experience with what we want to do. That they don't normally have to wait until spring ball to get an opportunity to do that. So that's why you see our depth chart's a little different. There's a couple of reasons for that, but that's the main one. We want to get guys in, we want to get them playing, and there's been guys, a lot of those guys have earned the right to come out and start the game and play for a little bit because they've been to every practice in the 4 weeks. So it's also really good for guys like Hayden Dennis and Jordan Johnson, Joseph Radke, those type of guys that have been here and this is their last year and they're ready to move on with life. Hayden's going to get his master's. Joseph's on his way, and Jordan's finishing up and just starting a master's. I'm excited for them that they get an opportunity to come out and play one last time here in this stadium and get recognized senior night and those type of things.
You got 7 games. Is that what you're going to stick with? Is there a chance we get 1 or 2 months out?
There will be a email that goes out, and it'll be on a local, not a local, but a national website. And I'm going to try to get 2 more games. I'd like 3 more. I'd like to try to fill October 10th. I'd like to try to fill November 7th and November 14th. And I think there's a possibility. I'd like it to be a home game, but if it's not a home game, we'll travel anywhere. And I know that some of these teams are losing games. If they want to pick them up, they're going to have my number. Again, we'll go anywhere and play anybody. That's our mantra right now.
So Hunter, you talked about some of the challenges you've had with COVID, and your team dynamic has just been really interesting. How has that been working with the team through COVID and also some of the racial injustice stuff and all that?
It's been very difficult with COVID because of the Zoom meetings, and we had Zoom study halls, and I had one Zoom team meeting, one Zoom. I don't even think I had a Zoom team meeting because saw some of these guys, and on Zoom you can take your picture off and you don't see everybody at the same time, and so I don't know really what they were doing. So I left it to our assistant coaches and to do Zoom and get their meetings in, and then we brought them in really early, July 25th. Fed them and started doing some walkthroughs and things like that, and staying away. It's been very interesting with what's going on in the world to listen to our players. And, we were coming out on a Friday morning and ready to go and practice. And I'd already been asked, quite bluntly, in a meeting. We have our team meetings. We talk about things that words that are powerful, words we don't want to use, and what they mean. And so AJ Magruder stood up and said, "Coach, I want to know your opinion on the national anthem." And I told him my opinion. And right away, they all kind of listened to me and heard me, but then it sparked some more conversation. And I said, "Guys, we'll have that discussion." We had some guys in quarantine, so we couldn't have everybody there. So that Friday morning, we're about to come out, and sure enough, I get word that with all these protests and things going on, that boycott of practice might happen. So instead of doing them boycotting the practice, we didn't practice, and we just had an open discussion. And to hear the stories that those players told about growing up, and we started, and I started to understand more about what they have dealt with. And I told them, I said, I can never walk a step in your shoes. I'll never be able to do that. So I don't know what you go through. And it's very riveting. And, we talked about the anthem. And, I gave them some options and said, okay, but we're going to vote as a team on what we want to do. And our players have voted to take their stance and be individuals, and they have the right to do that. If we have players that kneel, then we'll have players that kneel. If we have players that stand, we'll have players that stand. Each individual can make their own decision, but the best part about that is we had that discussion about respecting each other's opinions and beliefs. So if there's a black player that's taking a knee and there's a white player that's not, the white player knows that he's being supported by the black player, and the black player knows that he's being supported by the white player, regardless of what they choose to do at that time. And I just had a discussion with Michael McBroom about this, and he was very good in what he said, and I agree with him 100%. And, we have basically four types of people. You'll have people who stand at attention and listen to the anthem, and they're really thinking about why they're standing and why the anthem's playing. Then you'll have guys that have the right to take a knee, but it's important to them, and so they're paying attention to the anthem, and they're taking a knee. It's just a peaceful demonstration, but they are paying attention. And then you look in the stands, and there'll be people that are on their phones, or they ask you to remove your hat out of respect, and they have hats on, or they're talking during the anthem, and they're not paying attention. And then there's some that, will probably be in the stands and look at our team and see what we're doing, or see what individuals are doing, and they'll be pissed off about it. So they're not paying attention to what's going on in the anthem. So in all honesty, those that are standing in reverence to the flag and the anthem, and those that are kneeling, they are paying attention to what's going on and why that song is being played than the people that are worried about what we're doing. That's all we look for. We just want to. I respect everyone's decision and what they want to do, and I know on our team that they'll respect our coach's decision, my decision, and we'll stand together, we'll kneel together, we'll be together. And I think that's the biggest issue that I want to get across is, and I've learned from those guys, and I've learned from guys I've talked to in the military. I've always felt that, when they bring a coffin home from the war, it's got the flag on it, and you don't know male, female, black, white, Asian. You don't know the nationality of that person in that coffin. I respect the person in that coffin for giving us those rights, but I also respect the rights that they gave us. And if people want to exercise those rights, I'm good with it.
Did you get any pressure from people at the top of WT, whether it's the president or people on the board?
I've got zero pressure from them, and in all honesty, I'm not really concerned about it. I'm not concerned because what matters to me is what my players think. And yeah, I'm going to do what is necessary to maintain my job here, but I'm going to listen to my players first. And, you know, I've tried to always do that. I might not have always shown that to them. And I was wrong if I didn't. And now I'm fighting for them. We're doing some things on campus. And I told them, I said, I'm not going to lead this, but I will help you. I will guide you. But I want you to lead it because this is your cause. I want to be a part of it and help in any way I can. So we're doing things. We'll start doing things on campus and getting things rolling, from voter registration on campus to peaceful rallies. Our Day of Healing coming up September 21st. But I think it's a subject that needs to be addressed. I think it's gone far too long without being addressed. We'll address it Saturday night during the game at some point. And you know, I think it's time. You know, and it's like I love this place. I love Canyon. I love this country. I love everything about it. There's a lot of bad things out there, and that need to change. And I think that's, to me, the most important thing. And I told our players, if we could start on this campus with doing something and to help change one mind, and then it can go to Canyon, and then it can go to Amarillo, then it can go to the Panhandle, then maybe it can spread. Because change happens when one person stands up and does it. And the more people you can get on that train with you, the better off you are to make that change. So, I mean, I'm excited. It's not all about football. And I think now that our kids realize that our coaching staff's behind our kids 100%. Michael McBroom's behind us 100%. I've talked to Dr. McBroom, behind us 100%. They support everything we're doing, and they want to help us because they see it. The injustices going on. And like I said, it's time. And there's more. I tell the guys all the time, we're here to prepare you for life. I've got you 4 to 5 years for the next 40 to 45 years of your life. And you can make a difference. You can make that change. Football's a game. We love to compete. We love how we compete. We love playing the game. We love practicing the game. But it's still just a game. And, you know, we need to understand that and get some priorities in order. I think you're seeing that around the country as well.
Before you heard your players' stories and you realized you could never walk in their shoes, were you guys as a team going to have, or were you going to have a different rule for how they would be able to protest or act? Did that change at all?
I don't know if it changed. I had some options that I hope that they would listen. We came into our year, and I knew it was going to be difficult. And I made shirts. Every year we do a theme for shirts, and I put WAO. And I'm really not supposed to say what it means, but it means we are one. And I wanted our team to make decisions as a team. Well, as you get into what we were doing and what we were talking about, and that was one of the options, is for them to be as an individual. If they chose that option, I just wanted to make sure that we respected each other's decisions. So we took this into we're going to respect one another. We're going to respect their beliefs. I know that they come out here and they're on the field with us all the time. I know they practice hard with us. I know that I'm going to trust him, the guy next to me, to do his job. And because we have one mission, one heartbeat. You know, on that shirt, I put a little EKG on it, and it has 11 spikes in it. Well, there's 11 spikes because there's 11 guys on the team at once, on the field at once, and all of them have to be working together. So we say we're one team, one mission, one heartbeat.
When you're gonna have fans here,
Yeah.
unlike a lot of the NFL teams this weekend, 4,000 you're hoping for.
We're hoping for
Yeah.
about 4,500, and then
Well,
some sneak in somewhere, as many as we can.
Just how exciting is that, just to have, you know, fans, students, just normalcy back to watch football, be in football?
I've never experienced a scrimmage like we did this past weekend. The amount of people there, the cheering, the excitement they had just to be around and see football being played. You can't. I mean, you can't replace it. I mean, the normalcy of it for our players and for the student body here, and for this university is. I remember my first year. I'll say at my last school, we didn't have football, but they had a homecoming. Like, you hadn't had football in 30 years. Where you have an homecoming from? There was no excitement on campus. There was nothing to get you going and to get your blood boiling. And that next year, well, you could tell a huge difference. And I think that's what people are waiting for right now. They have sat here and wanted and waited on something that brings back normalcy. And high school football has done that, I believe, to help bring things back. And for us to be one of the only two schools in the Lone Star Conference playing, I think everybody's going to be looking at us and Angelo State. We're excited to be doing that. Again, I'm going to try to tell Michael to leave a gate open and point people in a direction to just come sneak in, because and if people do it the right way, we'll be able to have more fans come. That's our goal. Our goal is we have more games toward the end of the year. Hopefully, it'll go from 25 to 50% or 50 to 75, and because these players deserve it, and they've done everything right, with one exception. Everything right, everything. To be able to go out there and compete and play, and I mean, it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting, and like I said, if we could fit 40,000 in here, I bet we could have a chance just to have live football.
Well,
OPSU opened up Saturday. Have you had a chance to watch the film yet and kind of see how you match up
Well,
with
we
them?
didn't get any film from them. We agreed to exchange from last year, so we're just kind of going on the numbers. I know their quarterback is a bigger guy, based on what I've seen, and he ran. Excuse me. He runs the ball quite a bit. There are on the play-by-play. There are some pass plays where he scrambles, so I think he's got some escapability about him. But there are some where it's just him running the ball. So he's probably the focal point of their offense right now. If they're doing the same thing they did last year, you'll see a lot of quarterback counters, but you'll see a lot of quick passes, kind of three-step drops, three wide, two to the side, 3x1, and so we'll get our hands full. What scares me about this game is the unknown. You always worry about special teams and how your special teams are going to go. But I worry about tackling, because you can't do a whole lot of tackling anymore in preseason football. And so we go through and teach our guys how to tackle, the way we want them tackled, be a safe way to tackle. But then they get out there and, it's live, and those, I have a saying to our players is, those guys on the other side of the ball get paid too. They get a little scholarship money as well, so they got some talent. So that's really that's the biggest thing about OPSU is the uncertainty of exactly what we're going to see and how we're going to respond to them, especially. I don't know how they even line up as in punt or return or anything. So it's going to be interesting.
As far as the scrimmage goes, from a football standpoint, what did you see that you really liked about you guys? If it's a positive thing, and what do you think needed a little bit of work after Saturday night?
Our running backs are pretty damn good. I will say that. And our offensive line has continued to get better and better every year. Nick Gerber has taken Coach Martin, Russ Martin, a new offensive coordinator. He has taken his offense, and they're so much on the same page. And Nick puts us in the right positions and finds the right people in all aspects. And the run game finds the numbers that we're looking for. So Nick's really like a surgeon out there right now. So I'm excited to see him go. Disappointed in our receiving core a little bit. I think we got a lot of work to do, and we're expecting some big things out of them. We got some talent there. We just need to make sure we're focused and do everything the right way. Defensively, we got some young guys that are going to play a lot, and I'm excited for them to get some exposure and to get some playing time. Old steady is Hayden Dennis. He keeps it together. Eric Collins is solid on the outside. Our secondary is going to be not necessarily young, but new. And then, Tobias is probably the only returning starter back there if he continues to work the way he's doing it. So I'm excited. I'm still a little disappointed in our kicking game. I got 6 kickers here, and I can't find one that I fully endorse right now. But we're still working on it. So hopefully by the Saturday we'll be satisfied with that.
This is my last question, going back to the movement and all that stuff. Will you guys be putting any patches, any players wearing anything special for the Black Lives Movement?
We will not be wearing anything special or doing any patches. We will, like I said, we'll have something during the game, and it's kind of for this community. And I think it'll be something that hopefully is well received. I mean, I'm going to back it. I'm going to stand by it. If it's not well received, don't bother my players, bother me, because in all honesty, I'm the one who put it together. I'm the one that helped them put it together. And so if anybody out there has an issue with it, come right to me, and I'll be ready to answer anything. Why I did it, the reason I'm behind it, and I'd probably have some choice words for